Tonight on the Right Show on Record.
As tech editor who controls information today.
You know, before, we are curators of information. We are librarians. Like, this is happening. How do I curate something into a piece of paper or a magazine? There's no paper. It's infinite scroll. The sources are coming from all over the place. I'm not saying that the media is doomed, but I'm also saying that the media and other industries also in the comms field are having a hard time catching up because the technology keeps moving to ang bilis eh. I do believe that when you have a rule like that, o dapat 16 years old and below, walang
Pero ang hirap i-implement.
Oh, exactly. So, paano i-implement?
Are journalists threatened by AI?
No. The threat is a bit over-exaggerated. AI will make your life easier because I can now fill in the gaps.
But you mentioned earlier na medyo may hesitation ka rin sa AI.
May hesitations ako because I'm not yet sure at what iteration are we in currently.
Welcome to the Right Show on Record, Mr. Jayvee Fernandez.
Thank you, Sir Jayvee. And
Hello.
welcome to the Right Show on Record. Right Show on Record.
Nice
to be here, natin. And thank you for joining me here. And alam ko maraming updates sa'yo before kasi nung una nating kultuhan, nasa ano ka pa? Filter Tech.
Yes.
Di balita ko yung nasa Inquirer.
Yes.
You're now the tech
So
editor.
I made my return to whoever. So many people don't know this, but years more than 20 years ago, I started my media career with the Inquirer Group. So I was working for a company called Hinge Media Inc. And then we were bought and absorbed by the Inquirer. So I'm a first batch ng Hinge Inquirer publications. So I was in charge of the tech publications, Mobile Philippines, PC Magazine Philippines, and I was actually helping INQ7 before with sina Jayvee Fernandez for the podcasts. Kasi at that time, wala pang, hindi pa uso yung podcasting noon eh. Look at it now it's everywhere, di ba? So that's my background. Then I left, I went to the Bulletin, stayed there for almost a decade, and then went to Philippine Star, and now I'm ito yung return of
You're
the comeback.
So you're not the head of
I'm the tech editor.
tech editor.
Yeah,
Kasi
and-
dati wala silang Inquirer Tech show. So they created a new,
They did
section?
not know. So there was a tech section called Infotech many years ago. So ano pa to, 2005? IQ 7 days pa. But then I think the dawn of publications like Yahoo Philippines came, and many of them left. People just moved to work for other publications or moved to work for other industries. Most of them went to banking. So they stopped being a journalist. So I'm actually just resurrecting what was already there.
Okay, yeah. So now we're going to talk about the newsroom, the tech trends, and the future of tech. Exciting. Ang dami natin pag-uusap.
Yeah.
I think this is the best topic kasi ang daming nangyayari. Hindi lang sa, I mean, even geopolitics.
Yes.
Parang naka-anchor lahat or merong in relation to tech. Yeah, for example, chips. Yes, di ba? Lahat may connections.
You realize that it's actually a very fragile industry and everything's very interconnected. Especially the whole semiconductor chip and the chips, manufacturing Taiwan, all these. Who would have thought, that there's this tied talaga ang geopolitics.
The geopolitical conflict right now is actually centered on tech.
Yes.
I think it's on tech race na pinatawag.
Yes.
Kung sino mauna sa AI, sino mauna sa chips, sino pinaka marami minerals na hawak.
Where are these minerals processed?
Yes.
So it makes supply chains, right? So very interesting topic.
Kasi like yesterday, di ba parang ano ba yung ginagawa ng US? There's a new economic security zone na pinatawag.
The passive. Yeah.
So it's very interesting, no? But now let's talk about first na na yung shift mo from I mean sa newsroom, no, yung nangyayari ngayon, you witness the transition from traditional print to the digital first world. Okay, looking back, what was the moment you realized journalism or newsroom would never be the same again?
This was during the time when I was working with IQ7, 2006, 2007. So, to set the stage for those who are younger or born after that era, this was the time when Google was just entering into the AdSense AdWords industry. Steve Jobs was just about to announce the iPhone. So everyone was using a janky, hindi nga smartphone, Palm Pilot pa nga ata, Palm Pilot laptop, right? And many of them were using BlackBerry devices. The BlackBerry was basically portable email. It was a revelation at that time because it's as someone being born in the early 1980s. Meron na akong parang sense that, technology should be working for me, not the other way around. But I also have experience with, sleeping in the printing press, right? Just to close an issue. But then I'm in the middle of Gen X millennial. So meron akong sense, parang life could be easier if technology did things a certain way. So the first thing that I realized was when we would attend media events, at that time, usually 11 a.m. ang press event. Of course, the reason why that is the case is because so that umabot yung scoop by 3 p.m. because that's when the newspaper is closing. Here's the printer. By 5 p.m., it's on the way to the airport and to bring it to Cebu, Davao, so on. And then usually Metro Manila yung mga changes na for ads, exactly, for ads and so on and so forth, or breaking news, which happens mga midnight, diba, or bago. There was challenge back then because we were realizing, why can't we just email the story to the website? And all of us, we had BlackBerry devices. This was a time when wala pa masyadong data. So, it's either you would go to a Starbucks or a Coffee Bean and connect to their free Wi-Fi or their coffee, and then you would email your article to the editor.
Also po yung mga internet cafe.
Oh, internet cafe was really yung co-working space noon. Diba? That was the whole point of it. So, pagandahan ng promo yun at that time. Coffee Bean versus Starbucks, whoever had the best internet. So we were thinking, why can't we just email the stories and break as we go? But why do we have to break after 3 p.m.? We can break a story at 11, at 9 a.m., at 5 a.m., midnight, we can break a story one night. It might sound funny today because, syempre, social media. Yeah. But then, back in the day, that was so revolutionary. Which is, by the way, as a corollary to that, you know how mga influencer, KOLs, mga blogs, they would have their events at night. So you have two events, media event during the morning, and then you have KOL events at night. The reason for that was because at that time, wala pa namang trabaho ang KOL. It wasn't recognized.
So meron ng mga ganun, no?
Meron ng mga bloggers. We called each other bloggers.
You're one of the pioneers.
With my personal blog. So we had, you had a day job in the morning. After that, you'd go to a blogger event. So it would never mix, right? You'd have, and so the media event would be more straightforward. The blogger event would be more experiential because you'd be taking a lot of photos, talking about why you're there, so mas personal yung approach. So that was for me the start. Then I realized, wait, mag-iiba na to because how come when I search for something on Google, ang lumalabas, for example, you write about a topic, Global Smart or PLDT, whatever, mga pertinent topics that you would search for technology or even politics. Dati kasi news websites, konti lang noon, di ba? Bulletin, Inquirer, Star. But then all of a sudden, why were personal blogs hitting the first page of Google, right? So now you could see the shift. Na there's a challenge on the newsroom level to break things fast. But then there's also that emerging market of non-journalists, but they're also credible to some extent. Creator. Now we're calling them creators. I'm using terms from 20 years ago. Bloggers, netizens, di ba? So yun yung dun namin na-realize na talagang mag-iba. The shift is going to happen soon.
Ilang years bago na dominate ng mga ganitong creators or
I would say the first wave happened when brands started to accept Facebook as a medium. There was a time I did some agency work in the past.
when was it?
Before I went to Bulletins, around 2011, 2012, mga ganun. So it was the time. So remember, Facebook in the Philippines was medyo nag-start mga 2009, 2010, di ba? So around 2012, you would still have conversations around
Friendster.
and multiply. Di ba? Multiply. Di ba? And then when Facebook happened, brands were actually wondering, should we have a Facebook page? Should your brand have a Facebook page? It sounds crazy, no? Because now normal na yun, normal social media strategy. Yeah. But then all of that back in the day, no one would think about that. In fact, it was very revolutionary to have a social media department in your agency.
Yes.
And sooner or later in the newsroom. Wala eh. Wala.
Yes.
No such thing existed before.
Yes, so in-adapt na rin ng mga newsroom yung, di ba, yung nag-tweet. Nag-break.
So the movement from using a BlackBerry to send news to the newsroom to having a person on parang desk editor but Twitter lang ginagawa niya.
Social media.
So now they're called social media staff, diba? So the reporter would tweet and then retweet, diba? So back in the day, we were really figuring that out, trying to navigate how do you talk about credibility, but also at the same time accuracy. Kasi real time na, is always on nga, diba?
Yes.
Always on na yung term na they coined because of that.
Yung sa TV5 before, gamit namin, News 5 everywhere.
Everywhere. Always on, diba? Diba? So, very interesting.
Maraming magtatanong, I'm sure, yung mga Gen Z natin ng mga viewers. Ano daw yung INQ7?
INQ7 was...
Kung saan ka rin simula.
Yes, I started with INQ. So INQ7 was the partnership between Inquirer and GMA. So News 7. So that's why INQ and 7. If you think about it was such a odd time because why would...
It's a news website.
It's a news website. It was so now it's Inquirer.net and then you have GMA's website, right?
Big
separate sila. They went their own ways. But at that time, medyo revolutionary na siya. Because
so that's the start of online websites or news websites.
I know of syempre Manila Bulletin and
Kasi Philstar.
Rappler came much later.
People.
Yeah. Rap, I would say it was the start of the digitization of the trad media.
Okay.
Right? Rappler kasi wala na silang newspaper eh.
Yeah.
So nag-start sila digital na.
Yeah.
So I would say more on the shift, like the newsroom shift to a digital platform.
From the start of Inquirer IQ7 to the full-blown domination ng digital media, gaano katagal muna yung transition? Gaano katagal na in-adapt, evolve ng digital?
I would say when the next generation came into adulthood, because when they followed that, they stopped reading newspapers. Diba? So dati pakapal ng newspaper.
Yes.
So it's more like you notice there will be signs. In the signs where the newspapers were getting thinner and thinner. And then when you do your surveys, yung mga Qatar, diba? You'd say, where do you get your news? Newspaper? No, social media. Social media. So like, this is new. So, I mean, then of course, you see politics, diba? So they started campaigning using Facebook and that. But so, I wouldn't say that the media was left behind. You see, they adapted also.
Yeah.
Iba lang yung mga nuances if you're media versus, let's say, an influencer.
Okay, sir. How different is today's newsroom compared to the newsroom when you entered years ago?
Wow. So first, from I was in my early to mid 20s when I experienced the newsroom. And being one of the youngest, medyo digital first yung mindset ko. But I had a print foundation. Right? So I always felt that there and there still is that respect to print as any new. The one of the main differences was, I think, answering a question of, should we have an integrated newsroom or should we have two newsrooms where one is focused on print and the other is focused on digital? In theory, the integrated newsroom always made sense because it's one voice. I mean, that's the idea. But when it came to core competencies, it's very hard to. If it's shocking for, imagine you're a journalism head in 20 years, and this is how you've been doing things, and you are the slow but steady, accurate. That's one side. Then you have the fast pace. Tara, let's just release. We need to break. We need to learn. We need to know SEO by the back of our heads. We also need to be some sort of influencer because we have to be talking in front of a mic. So, iba na yung mga core competencies niya. So, it's not that the editor was hiding behind the written word, no? Because you don't even see their face, right? It's more like the core competencies evolved. Whereas, I mean, if you remember the columns or the food columns of Jayvee Fernandez, and she would write about
Jayvee Fernandez.
right? I mean, the food talaga. She wrote about food like amazing, mga 1,000 words about the restaurant. Eh ngayon TikTok, 30 seconds.
Kaya.
Masarap ba to? Hindi. I hate this. Ito yung occasion eh. Parang nawawala yung that zest, right? But the algorithm wins eh. Right? So it's not, I'm not going to be that guy who's saying na I prefer this to this.
Yes.
It's how do you find the balance between playing the algorithm and being credible and exciting at the same time. Right? So it applies to tech.
Papasok yun yung either virality or the credibility.
Yeah. So a long time ago, I was when I was younger, I was like, oh, which is more important, diba? It seems like mas nare-reward yung virality. Right? But as I grow older, I'm more nuanced to it. Because there are longer term rewards for staying credible, of course, diba? And staying deep, yung foundations mo, like,
The technology save journalism or disrupt journalism beyond repair.
I think technology turned its back on several promises, or we did not know that it would unleash certain things. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
This is the example that I like to talk about when I do mga plannings. A long time ago, you remember when we were younger, and then pag mayroong contest sa newspaper, or contest, tapos cut out mo yung
Mga tabloid.
tabloid, diba? Tapos ilagay mo dun yung name, address, telephone number. Suking tindahan pa nga, diba? Suking tindahan, or like, how many, it would ask like a question, may questionnaire siya na, how many are you at home? What's the job of your dad? What's the job of your mom? So, people would submit for a chance to win something, diba? From brands. That's very valuable first-party data that the newspapers had. The newspapers had knowledge of how many people were living in the household, ano yung job ni mommy, ni daddy. Diba? So remember, the term we call pass-on readership, yun eh.
Yes.
Even for TV and for print. Pass-on readership, how many people are reading the newspaper at home? You only buy one copy. Diba? TV, when you buy a TV, ilan kayo sa bahay nanonood? Lolo, lola, mom, dad, kids. That's your pass on, di ba? Viewership naman, yeah, it's called, about TV guys, your viewership. So, with that in mind, then came 2006 with Google Analytics. All of a sudden, everyone was using Google Analytics for website data because the promise was it's fast, it's accurate, it's simple, it's free. Siyempre, if I'm the one transitioning the newsroom, makikita ko, wow, I can get all so much data pala from this. Gender, age, di ba? Tapos yung mga likes. Diba? Ito, into sports, ganyan. So slowly people were abandoning the qualitative first-party data. So now, if you go around and look at other newsrooms, or even websites lang, I'm sure you've been in presentations where people will just present their demographics. Male, female, gender, age. Diba? And if you look at it, halos pare-pareho lang naman tong lahat eh. But then when you talk about that, so that's demographics. What about readership? People mistake the two terms. Readership is very different. Readership is qualitative data. Diba? How often do you buy a cell phone?
Yeah.
How long before you change it? Are you loyal to the same brand or you willing to experiment with other
That's
brands?
qualitative.
Diba? Yeah. So, how do you get that data? Diba? That is a newspaper, pwede mong gawin yun. Because you would buy the newspaper, right? A person who buys a product is more likely to be more engaged, right? Rather than read something for free on the web. So wala naman siyang anything eh. Like, I don't have a stake in this because it's just being fed to me by an algorithm. Whereas, I buy a magazine. So that's my best example of how it's changed. Na now, companies are looking for first-party data analysis. But they can't seem to find it because a lot of the media, the trad media, they unknowingly gave it up in favor of something that they thought would be better. In fact, I'm sure the tech companies also thought it would be the same thing. That's why I'm kind of worried about AI. Not that I am against it. But then wait lang, ito parang yung promise na sinasabi nila. Kaya parang wait lang. Feeling ko, yeah. So, yun yung segues ko.
But as a newsroom reader, what do you think younger audiences fail to understand about traditional journalism?
They think it's like Facebook or content creator. Parang bakit yung content creator, they can say, they just put out whatever. They can say whatever they want. And then, as you know, we've worked in newsrooms. One of the things that I like to say is when you look at credible media, it's not just about the things that they put out.
Yes.
It's also about the things that they do not put out. What you do not show says as much as in fact says more.
Yes.
Because it's been through himay talaga.
Yes. Not really, we don't call it filtered, but
It's not yeah.
may talagang we were following editorial style.
Editorial style. It's not just. I mean, if you're a creator, it's really just you. If you're great at discernment, then fine. I mean, props to you. But then when you have all the government sectors telling you things, it's really mind-boggling. How can you stay credible? Like, ano mga agenda nito? May agenda ba to? Wala. Diba? How do we get the answer from this person? Alright? Are we leaving this person on? So it's really that. Journalism is a process.
And content creators are, I mean, yung mga younger content creators ngayon, pwera lang yun sa mga talagang dumaan sa
journalistic
training.
Or may media arts training, may training talaga.
Correct. Yung mga bao ngayon, parang kung ano-ano na lang pinupost.
Yeah.
Na hindi mo alam kung may sense pa or siguro for virality nga.
So again, algorithm. Shock value. I don't know what it's called now from that generation, but it's that it's about how do I get more followers? And then, as someone, I mean, we've lived through the Friendster, the Multiply, the Facebook, and now it's TikTok.
Yeah.
So parang at some point, if you're a Gen Z person and your first encounter of social media is TikTok or Instagram, know that me as a someone in the mid 40s, we've been through what, 4 or 5 iterations of all of these algorithms. So pagod na tayo. So we know that there's gonna be another one and another one and another one. Plus AI, diba?
Okay, let's go to the new information war. We'll now live in an era where TikTok videos, influencers, Reddit threads, and AI chatbots compete with the attention sa newsroom, di ba? With newsrooms for attention. As tech editor, who controls information today? My gosh, that's such a tough question. You say?
I would say, before, we are curators of information. We are librarians.
Sa newsroom,
We are librarians. Like, this is happening. How do I curate something into a piece of paper or a magazine?
Yeah.
Right? Now, there's no magazine, there's no paper. It's infinite scroll. Right? And, the sources are coming from all over the place.
Yes. Kung ano na pumapasok sa feed.
Yeah, right.
Real.
So, I'm sure all media outlets have their own version of citizen journalism. Diba? You love your, diba? So, contribute, but it still goes through the funnel. The editor, diba? The edit pan, to contextualize it, diba? So, to make sure it's legit. But then now, there's just so many. So, who controls it? Like, the algorithm controls it. Right?
Yes.
At the very beginning of new platforms, when a platform is introduced, laging i-viral niya whatever is new.
Yes.
Whatever is new. Right? And then,
Algorithm now decide what people might see.
yes.
Very powerful.
I used to attend mga Facebook, mga briefings with Facebook a long time ago. When I was doing social media. And one of the things that they would always say is one of their signals for promoting content would be whatever is new. So when Facebook Live was introduced, yun yung na-new nila. Yeah. Yun yung pinupush nila. So there was a time, long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, pag kita mo sa feed, puro Facebook Live. Puro Facebook Live.
Yung mga reels.
Oh, then there was a time, remember, wala pang nga reels nun eh. Live lang talaga.
Live lang.
And then there was a time, it was just full Facebook albums.
So dati sir, diba, ang nakikita mo sa feed mo, yung kung sino yung kina-follow mo lang.
Yes. So now it's like,
Sino na eh. No?
for these people.
Yes.
So it's not anymore a social network of friends for Facebook. It's now an algorithm. It's a platform, right? So and whoever controls the platform controls the money. Okay.
Has social media weakened journalism or simply exposed the weaknesses existing in the media?
Wow, that's such a tough question. Because, again, if I was a cynic, I would say the first. Journalism is weak. But then I really feel now that as the landscape evolves, what if journalism was just the start? The journalism we knew was the start of it, and then now this is the new wave of journalism. Na you fail first and then you keep trying until you build your reputation, right? Who knows, right? That might be it. So feeling ko it's more of the latter. It's exposing certain weaknesses because of new technology. So it's kawawa din. I'm not saying I'm not saying that the media is doomed, but I'm also saying that the media and other industries also in the comms field are having a hard time catching up because the technology keeps moving to
Ang bilis.
Ang bilis eh.
So, grobis.
So, if you look at it from the point of view of someone who's been in the industry for so long, how do you process that? If you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you're gonna retire, iba na yung mundo, di ba? So how relevant am I in this new setting, right?
Yes. Sir, we often hear the word fake news. But today, the bigger problem, I think, is in information overload. Not saying, but do people still know how to distinguish the truth or truth from noise or truth from fake news or disinformation?
You know, you have a good point. Because fake news, aka lies, well, again, the algorithm, for every truth that you post, the algorithm sort of prefers the lie because it's more spectacular. It's spectacular, di ba?
Or siya yung kinakagat ng
Siya yung yeah, because
kinakagat ng bias nila.
ito yung id mo, yung
gusto mo
ito yung gusto ng brain mo eh.
Oo.
So,
Or ng bias.
yeah, but maybe it's the reaction, like, you know, if a person, when you've been proven right, okay, example, this information is true, like, okay, it's true. And then someone says something to the corollary, or the opposite.
Yes.
Parang dun lumalabas, wait lang, I need to react to this. Kaya nga the algorithm likes that. Diba? So I feel that it's a platform issue. And what sucks is that it's monetized. It can be monetized, right? Yeah, and it's free. Parang let me as an aside, I really feel that when I talk to young people and ask them, when was the last time you bought a newspaper? And they say bumili nun mga lolo po, ganyan, diba? So a newspaper is 25 pesos now. It's not as thick as it was before. So all that thought, that's buying a newspaper. And then you have people complaining on social media na, grabe naman tong media. They don't write about these other issues. Or grabe naman tong media. Puro na lang ads. Ganyan, di ba? Me, as someone who's also on the business side of media, I'm like, di naman kayo bumibili ng newspaper eh. Dati, everyone would buy a paper. There would be a newspaper or 2 or 3 at home. And that's what supports journalism, right? So now we have to rely on Facebook, on Google, yung Facebook advertisers, diba? So, parang I really feel that misdirected din yung ire towards it. Is the media doing their job? Actually, they are. In fact, they're barely surviving. Because ito na lang ang kinikita nila to keep their resources, right? So salary plus, the resources too. It's not easy. It's not easy for a newsroom to exactly. So every year they did changes. Nababago naman yung mga ad formats. And I think 30%, 40% goes to the platform. Right?
Mas kanina, I mean, we discussed earlier about the algorithm, diba, that they are now the ones deciding, algorithm now decide what people see online. Yeah. Are tech platforms more powerful now? Or becoming more powerful than editors like?
There's power. There's a lot of power. Because remember, the job of the editor before was also to curate the fact check, right? Parang ngayon, sino na yung curate? Ba yung algorithm?
Yeah.
So it's the same for websites. It's the same for social media. In fact, ako, when I read the news, I prefer going to the .com or the .net. Yung website talaga.
Yeah.
And then I will read from there. I will not go to social media. Because they'll not be fed lang with the algorithm eh. Diba? Syempre, pag breaking, of course, pag may breaking news, ibang ano yan. But then, let's be fair also, that the platforms have also tried to work towards helping media become, more up there, more credible versus but still medyo kulang pa kasi nga there's just so much, so much. So I I am more in favor of platform agnostic news in the sense that direct traffic to the website and actually email newsletters.
Yeah.
I love email newsletters. Because yun, walang algorithm yun. It just pops up in your
Email.
in your email and then
But you have to subscribe.
you have to subscribe. Free naman most of the time, diba? And then when you open it, it's a curated,
Correct.
diba? Curated siya by the editor. Not by an AI, right? Or by Facebook.
And may mga open editor.
O may notes siya, like ito, this is the top story because, diba? Tapos, I like it ba? Kasi mas slow burn yung email newsletter eh. Madaming op-ed.
Yes.
Opinion. Ito yung news, ito yung opinion. Mas type ko yun. So, I think, isang takeaway ko, if you're a younger Gen Z that wants better news, try to look for the email newsletters of all these publications and subscribe to all of them.
And of course, you have also to check to assess the bias.
May mga biases talaga yun.
May mga bias. Kanya-kanya bias.
Yeah, everyone has their own agenda.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, everyone has their own agenda.
In your opinion, sir, napagita mo natin kanina yung virality versus spirituality. In your opinion, is virality now more important than credibility in the digital ecosystem?
I think they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand in the sense that newsrooms need to level up. They need to upgrade. And what that means is setting up systems or even departments that can help with that. In the same way that the printing press is like an in-house Facebook, you need to have departments for, I would say, SEO, social media, and soon AI. Kasi medyo we don't know what's gonna happen to this whole AI thing. Yung generative AI, GEO, AEO, all of these terms, di ba?
So,
Dami terms. And we're at the point where so much is happening in the AI space that we still don't know what the playing field is. Right? So even now, people are saying, oh, AI is going to make life easier and it's going to save us money. But then lo and behold, all of a sudden, people are lumalabas na yung mga actual compute costs ng mga AI companies. So kunyari, akala mo you're only paying $20 a month. But in reality, that's $1,000 na sinasubsidize lang ng mga AI companies, right? So it's not really saving money. It's just making things a bit easier, but at the cost of something, right?
Are we entering an era where emotions outperform facts online?
G, yeah.
That's a Gen Z word.
Very, very,
Correct.
yes. There is that, unfortunately, but, man is an emotional being, right?
Ito pala, current events, no? Pag-usapan natin yung social media. May mga bansa like Australia has banned social media
years old,
access for 16 years old below, no?
Below, yes.
Are you in favor of this policy or gusto niyo bang gawin dito sa Philippines?
I think there has to be a policy like that. But it has to be done in a certain way that is easily implementable. Let me give you an example. If you look at the terms and conditions of Facebook, bawal naman talaga ang bata. Ang bawal naman talaga eh. And yet, you have many minors on Facebook. And it's a black hole because once a minor makes a Facebook kahit messenger lang, not even using the kids, messenger for kids, biglang, because it's an ecosystem, mapapaano ka, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, di ba? Because it's owned by Meta, di ba?
Instagram.
Instagram, same thing.
Thread.
So yeah, exactly. It's not just about social media. It's about general screen time. All studies show that the later you involve your kids with social media, the better it will be for their mental health well-being. So the later. So later. So but also as a parent myself, I'm also looking at where are these digital natives at during the pandemic. Because that was so unprecedented. Like many of my kids' classmates are talking through Discord. And that's how they kept friendships. Remember 2.5 years, almost 3 years of pandemic, online ng lahat. So may mga merits din yun. Right? So I don't want to be that guy also who's saying, yeah, or outright ban. There has to be, I think it's very nuanced. That's my answer. I do believe that when you have a rule like that, dapat 16 years old and below, walang ano.
Pero ang hirap i-implement.
Oh, exactly. So, my next question is, paano?
Implement.
Paano ma-implement?
Alam nga yung parents should police that.
SIM card law nga, wala eh.
Yes.
So, what more? So, again, as a parent than myself, I'll go back to what does it mean to be a responsible parent? Maybe it should be the parent who should
Yes.
police and control, diba? Maybe it should be the parent, right? Because that's really their job as parents. But I don't want to have...
Paano?
Yun nga eh.
May penalty ka pa din yung madiscipline.
Yun nga eh. Diba? Parang, I don't know. It's not like paparusahan tayo. Hindi. It's not like that. It's very nuanced. Because technology also has its benefits.
And the very foundation of right to free speech.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The very foundation of democracy is free speech.
Exactly. My kids learned how to speak Filipino better because of YouTube, Netflix, and subtitles. Iba nila yung subtitles. So sa Pinoy, Filipino movie, but English subtitles. So as you keep watching, diba, i-improve.
Totoo lang, no? Ang mga bata na yun magaling mag-English dahil lang sa YouTube.
Yeah.
Yung totoo. That's the benefit.
In the same way that remember when we were growing up, we were watching TV, and it was very American cartoons, diba? Very American centric. That's why they could speak English very well. I think it's the same with the children now, diba? So it's a tough question to answer. It's very easy to say, yes, we should regulate it. Paano? How do we do it? Okay, right? So I think it's about the partnership with the platforms, TikTok, Meta, diba? And how Roblox. How do you fix that?
Ang hirap din. Mahirap. I don't know kung ano na yung progress niya sa Congress natin. But anyway, let's go to AI. Napag-usapan AI. Since the rise of yung mga Jayvee and others, how has the conversation inside media organizations changed?
On one level, it's about disclosure. If you're using AI tools, it's best to disclose it. That's the most default answer that we will get. But then when it comes to newsroom implementation of AI tools, I would say not a lot are using it in a more sophisticated manner.
Hindi mo galing yung prompt.
Oh yeah, parang bubuksan mo lang si Gemini, ChatGPT, na parang wala akong header image, create a header and image na, di ba? Kasi walang image, di ba? I mean, I think you've seen it in some newspapers na labas kasi sila ng AI na experiments. I mean, props to them, at least they're experimenting, di ba? I personally use it from a app development, vibe coding. The way I approach my work now is I'm not a developer. Wala akong alam sa code. Like the last time I learned coding was in the 1980s using BASIC. People I'm sure don't remember that. Very, 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 very basic code. So I use AI Studio. Or you can use Claude, whatever. I mean, lahat naman yan may sariling equivalents. And I developed, I had two experiments. Di ba they said AI will take your job?
Yes.
Right?
Let's talk about that later.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Tawag susunod na tanong.
okay.
But journalists generally threatened by AI, or is the fear exaggerated?
okay, yeah. So, we'll talk about it. So, the app that I made, yung app na ginawa po, it was meant to bridge the gap with certain processes. Right? So, and I'm sure that's the conversation going on now in newsrooms. Linking sales and editorial findings. Kunyari, even trackers. Dati kasi Excel spreadsheet lang yun.
Yes.
I can make it more sophisticated and like show you relationship between advertisers, how many times they've released, and how many times editorial has covered.
Yes.
You can track that using AI. Gagawa ka ng app.
Yeah.
So my whole point, remember before, we were saying before, but that's just before, I would download an app, and if wala akong way to customize it, I'd probably do it on paper. I would, mental, but then now,
Tapos tinatrack mo man.
tracker, yeah. I'll use whatever closest tool, Excel, PowerPoint, ganyan. Now, what I do is, I make apps that can help fill. I make apps using vibe coding. Yun yung uso ngayon. Gagawa ka ng
I
app.
don't know what's very cool.
Vibe coding is you talking to the computer to make an app for you.
Wow.
So, I use AI Studio, which is by Google. But they all have their equivalents. Si Claude meron. It's called Claude Code. So, kinausap ko lang siya. And I said, make an app that can extract the text specs of press releases and PDF documents
Ang galing.
of products. Kasi hassle yung text specs kasi copy-paste mo di ba? Ito, upload ko yung PDF, it will format it for me. Copy-paste, lagay mo na sa WordPress.
Underling.
So,
Hindi ba na naging threat yun sa mga app developer?
yun na nga So, that's the new model The new model is, shucks, walang app dito. Sige, gagawa na lang ako. And my compute costs are very low. Because it's just me. So I've so far I've been doing this for 2 months.
Pero binabayaran mo, clear. Yung vibe coding yan.
Sa Google, I pay 50 pesos a month. Kasi ang liit It's just me. It's just me using it. If I were to deploy this to the whole organization, syempre matataas yung per seat cost niya. So, that is my new mentality of when I discovered vibe coding, dun ko na-realize, okay, this is the power of AI. It's not generating images. It's not chat GPT,
Not
prompting. It's not
editing.
It's,
not
diba?
writing.
It's not that. It's how can I make my job easier? I will create AI agents or apps. I have many friends who've done certain things like ganun.
So, pwede kang create an app to, for example, create an app to parang yung sa mga transportation, like to come, kung gagawa ng mga app na to compete with this app.
You technically can. You technically can. The question would be, what APIs are you pulling from? Where are you getting the data? In my case kasi, it's just the AI scrolling. It's Gemini, basically. Gemini 3.5 naman. It's just scrolling through the PDF using notebook LM on the so, diba? So kung let's say you're gonna do transport app, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to use, let's say, the Google API for Google Maps. So dun to kaya niyo ng mga costs.
Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely can.
Balik tayo sa tanong ko. Are journalists threatened by AI or meron bang banta sa mga trabaho nila or is the fear exaggerated lang?
I will say, as someone, okay, my answer is no. The threat is a bit over exaggerated. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So I have 2 AI projects. So the first one I just talked about, yung
Vibe coding.
Yeah, vibe coding. Yung isa kong vibe coding project is the purpose of that app is to remove myself from the equation. Meaning to say, I wanted to make an app that removes me as the editor.
One.
I want to see if I can redundate myself to prove a point. Kasi kung kaya pala, then I should be worried. Kung hindi niya kaya, then I'm safe. So what I did was, I tried to make a more expressive version of Gemini chat. So it's based on Gemini. You can use Claude, you can use whatever, you know. But the way it worked was, so I fed it 5 years worth of my writing. 5 years worth. Feature style, interview style,
Para mas
review style. Yeah, iba-ibang me.
para maintindihan niya.
Oh, me.
Kung
This
ano
is,
ka.
and then I said, can you create a persona who is Jayvee? Gumawa siya. Ito yung, and then sabi ko, gawin mo tong brand Bible. Gumawa siya ng brand Bible. This is how you write. Interesting. Oh, ito pala yung mga nuances, the way I write, the way I use certain words. And then, I
So
try,
gumawa ka ng parang AIJV.
parang ganon, based on 5 years worth of my writing.
Okay. Anong result?
So ito nga, I fed it and I tried generating some articles. I used it to rewrite a press releases. I used it to ano tawag dito, Q&A interviews. Hindi ako happy. I had to edit it.
So meaning,
It takes, so ito yun. So look at the process. 5 years worth of training. If i-feed ko siya, mag-output siya. Itong output na to, I can put comments and say, this part doesn't sound too good. Change it, again. That portion will feed it back to the master AI and edit the brand Bible, the DNA. So in other words, meron siyang mga 2 by 3 points siya of, and I can even rank the translation. May ranking. And like, vibe code to Javes,
Yeah.
Vibe coding, it's just me talking to the app. Like, I don't like kunyari, can you add dark mode? Kasi I don't, ganun. Implementing dark mode, ganyan. Hindi niya kaya. After three,
paano mo sabing hindi kaya?
it takes writing too literally. It takes it removes the soul of
Of
writing
your-
creatively. It
Yes.
takes it too literally. Para siyang, I would describe it as, para siyang aso that wants to please you. Parang it's like someone that's trying to please you. Then you realize, wait lang. Actually, wrong example yung aso kasi nakakatawa yung aso. It's like maybe an over-eager intern that's trying to please you. But then nawawala yung context. It keeps using the same words. It keeps using and Dota, I did this.
Kasi hindi mo matitrain.
So I have to edit it.
Yes.
Hindi, bumalik mo yung sa akin, editor.
So, relevant.
Relevant. So at the end of the day, this project, which is still ongoing,
Yeah.
parang I'm really trying to
Galing.
see. So that's why I'm not worried about editor because if I put out that article and I read it again, I'll just be embarrassed because oh no, hindi ito ako.
So kung tingin mo ay hindi ka dapat natatat yung mga editors, no? what newsroom roles are AI vulnerable? Or, alam mo yun, yung
Transcriber,
most vulnerable to AI disruption?
transcriber, uploader, very basic roles.
Translators.
Mga ganun. Translators is, that's the, yun talaga.
Yung mga artist. Kasi dahil naglilipanan yung mga kayang gumawa ng picture,
I think
videos.
the consensus now with newsroom, for example, with things like Canva and the AI functions of Microsoft 365, and is that I want to have an artist who knows how to use AI rather than ako na wala akong alam sa AI sa art. Then I just ask to generate stuff. Kasi kung pinakita ko yun sa artist talaga, parang gaganon lang, parang mag-smart ba to? Parang nakikita ko na yung disappointment na parang this could have been done better.
So, artist should be retained pa rin.
Artist should,
Editor should
it's not about the editor or the artist or the reporter versus AI. It's about them using it.
Is, so tama yung sinabi si Sam, yung open AI
Sam Altman,
na it's not, AI will not replace humans. It will replace humans who will not use AI.
yeah, and it really makes the whole vibe coding experiment really opened my eyes, because that's when I realized, okay, ito pala ibig sabihin nila. Ito pala yung sinasabi ni Sam Altman. Ito pala yung sinasabi ni Sundar Pichai na AI will make your life easier because I can now fill in the gaps.
But you mentioned earlier na medyo may hesitation ka rin sa AI.
May hesitations ako because I'm not yet sure at what iteration are we in currently. And also from the point of discernment, I think that as someone like me who uses it, whatever new technology it may be, whether it's AI or blockchain, there will always be people who don't know that, there was one time I think my mom showed me a video like, oh, look po, si Pope Leo saying certain things. So they look at, oh my gosh, it's AI pala. 45 minutes. So Pope Leo talking. Dami ganun. Diba? So, ang hirap. What if if it preys on the vulnerable, what do you do? Diba?
Can AI eventually write better breaking news than humans? And also, where do humans still outperform AI in terms of in journalism?
I think feature writing, creative writing, AI kasi looks back because it trains on something, right? Whereas we look forward because of aspirations. Wala namang aspirations si AI eh. Because it's just imagining, it's just simulating
based on your experience.
based on your experience in the past. So it's good for research, right? It's good for writing. Kunyari, meron kang let's say you have a formula for certain types of articles. Kunyari, stock ticker, right? Or like this stock is now 40 something percent, ganyan. Or sports na this team won against this team in this venue. Or weather report, ito na yung weather ngayon, kahapon dito. Right? But I think analysis, critical thinking, I'll never read a book. I won't read a book that's from AI or journal or a memoir. Parang why? Diba? Mas gusto mo, I want to read the person.
Yeah. What worries you most about AI-generated content?
That when it comes to the point we can't tell the difference. And like,
Sobrang galing ba yun?
sobrang gumagaling pa siya.
Ano yung bago ngayon na kaya gumawa ng video na parang
Yeah, there was
sa China?
Sea Dance ba yan?
Yeah,
Sea Dance. The new version.
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Di ba?
Crazy. I mean, syempre on one end, you have an aspiring creator, an aspiring movie director, an aspiring graphic artist with these tools.
Yes.
But on the other hand, you have the vulnerable senior citizen that has itong savings account, tapos biglang kukunin na. Ito yung mga scammers, email scammers from before, na ngayon ginagamit na, like, di ba dati email lang from, let's say, Nigerian prince.
Text nga lang eh.
Ngayon mukhang totoong Nigerian prince. Diba? So, it's getting crazy to the point that sometimes I have to double check when I scrolling. Wait, AI ba? Mukhang AI ito, pero parang hindi yun. Yung pala AI talaga.
You mentioned about yung mga ganyan fake. Are we approaching to a trust crisis online?
Yeah, who would have thought, no? So, I'm really all for educating when it comes to how do you discern discernment. It's not anymore, ano eh, what is fake news eh. It's more like, baka ma-scam ka eh. Kasi if it's one thing to have beliefs X or Y. I believe X, I'm more into this political party than this, or may loyalties tayo sa different political sphere. Pero mukhang iba na yung usapan if your wallet gets drained.
Yes.
Diba? So I think maybe that might be the wake-up call. If it takes that,
Totoo.
if that's what it takes, then wow, maybe people will be. I hope.
Actually, because of this trust crisis ka, alam mo minsan nagiging yung AI yung nagiging reason or nagiging excuse natin to dismiss or debunk something, which is true din naman. So, like example, may ganito.
AI.
Minsan yung
May mga false positive, di ba? Like, you don't, baliktad naman. Ay, that's AI.
Hindi na nakakatakot kasi kahit totoo naman.
Oh. You wouldn't talk, di ba? And I think going back to the newsroom, I think that's what makes it, I think that would be the scary part is if the newsroom fails to identify something.
Yeah, dahil papasok yung tanong ko rin, sir, kasi aminin natin, ang newsroom din naman ay gumagamit ng AI.
Yeah, dati pa. But yeah, diba? Dati pa. So what ethical boundaries should media companies establish when using AI?
So one of first and foremost, the most important thing is that every media company should have their AI ethics and standards. And it's always, I'm sure it's in the handbook, diba? I work for, having worked for many, in the past. Nasa dapat yan eh. Ano yung policy? Ano yung AI policy mo? And that's where it should be based. It should be written by editorial, sales. And I think, we need to go back to what is the purpose and mission of the fourth estate? What is the purpose and mission of media? That educate, forums, and to empower people to make decisions. So I firmly believe that beyond the virality, beyond the algorithm, it should really still go back to that. Because that's the reason why they exist. They exist beyond algorithms, right? They exist because it's the pursuit of truth.
Yes. How about the government, sir? Should the government also regulate AI generated content?
Shucks, that's such a, parang the government already has so many things on its hands.
And we think about and meron na tayong national AI.
There are efforts in AI with the government, but they're not aligned eh.
Or integrated.
Hindi siya integrated eh.
Diba? Kasi dahil we touch ng AI, we have DOST,
DICT,
DI.
Yes.
So, walang isang talaga. I don't know kung meron
the loudest is more on BPOs and upskilling AI. So how do you train the BPO industry to become better at using AI? Then on one hand, you have the data centers, diba?
Yes.
Yung, there are more companies that want to invest in the Philippines. Ergo, they want to put up data centers. Kasi fintech here is, doing pretty well. Like Southeast Asia, actually. Not just the Philippines. Kaya, diba? May mga, GoPay, Apple Pay, is all soon. So, parang, ito yung focus nila eh. Then you start to realize, shucks, regulation, paano kaya ito when it comes to generative AI? We were the text messaging capital of the world back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then we became the social media capital. And I think now we're the top 5 sa AI use. But AI use in generative AI and not in vibe coding. So I think
generative AI means
yung gumagawa ng memes, image, yung gumagawa ng mga I use ChatGPT to make an image of me
Drop something.
in the vacation with drinking coffee. Yung mga ganon, di ba? Yun. So, I think medyo long way to go. When it comes to the government. I'm sure there are plans there.
Tayo na ulit.
Oh,
Sa buong Southeast Asia, parang doon na lang yata. I don't know kung tayo na doon. Parang wala tayong... If you go to China,
yeah.
you go to China, you go to Japan,
May policies. Japan has a policy with AI use. There's sila policies. I think even Singapore has
Yeah.
for AI.
Thailand has.
Yes. Yes. Sa Thailand has. So, tayo lang ng medyo...
Hindi ko alam kung ano yung pinaka-malinaw dyan.
And you know what? Alam mo, this is one thing that I learned, no, na also because we had one of the most lax social media policies na wala. Basically, wala, di ba? Tayo ginawa experiment ng Meta for deployment of new algorithms.
Because we
Fake
are...
news, ganyan, Cambridge Analytica. Wala tayong policies eh. So what happens if a part 2 dito sa Pilipinas, some AI company wants to do an experiment. Oh, let's see if a population can tell the difference between real and fake. What if we become the experiment? The next experiment. Again, because of
Hindi ko ba tayo ginagawa?
who knows? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Diba? Who knows?
Okay, now let's go to the tech conversations that, are shaping today. What do you think is the biggest technology story in the world right now?
RAM prices.
RAM.
The price of silicon RAM and chips. Usually, and I'll tell you why. You have cycles eh. Siyempre, when Google announces something, when Apple something, laging nandun yun eh. But then overarching everything for the past several weeks with such influence na to the rest of the world is, this cycle of people use AI, therefore, AI is becoming more expensive, therefore, mas nagmamahal
Right.
yung components that make these AI devices, phones, NVIDIA.
Yeah.
So, para siyang loop. Now, the more I use AI for whatever, generating memes, I'm actually making the price of RAM more expensive for the next batch of devices. Right? I mean, if you've seen, when we do tech reviews now, if you search for mga prices ng first quarter, second quarter phones, on smartphones and hard drives, solid state drives, I like at least 30 to 50% yung price increase. So yung mga nagko-comment, grabe naman tong mga brands ito, mga phones. And then many of us have to explain that this is why it become expensive. Because of, the shortage in supply chain for chips, so on and so forth, di ba? So it's affecting Filipino buying decisions when it comes to devices. I would advise when people ask me, look na lang for a device from last year. Kasi mas mura pa yun kaysa sa if you buy this year. Yeah. And we have to tweak our reviews now. Because, syempre na number one ko, ba't ang mahal? Ba't nagmahal tong phone na to? Last year, ito lang. The past 2 years, similar yung price, biglang ganito. We have to explain na this is the new normal. Ito na yung mga prices nito. So, concerted effort yan, napansin ko among all the mga tech reviewers who have access to devices. Na,
Anong major factor of it nagtaas? Oil also?
Yun pa. So, when I talk to manufacturers, they say daw na the price is not fixed. So, when you buy a stockpile of chips now, 2-3 months later, it's not the same price again. So you never know.
Maybe because of the critical minerals?
It's the
Marami.
yung nangyari kasi was you have the hyperscalers, Google, Nvidia. They're the ones buying. I forgot what it's called. It's a high capacity RAM. So let's say I'm a RAM manufacturer. I make components. There's so much demand here to make RAM for data centers. And then there's consumer. I'll make more money here. So many of them shut down this consumer business and are now doing B2B. That's why nagmahal yung supply chain. Kasi kumonti din yung gumagawa for the consumers. Yeah. So and all of this RAM that's being sold para sa mga hyperscalers yan. The Nvidias and the Googles of the world. Because of AI.
Yeah.
So ano siya?
Cycle.
Cycle.
Okay. How important are chips and cloud infrastructure in today's power struggle?
My gosh, alam mo, I never thought too much about that until we saw that news na, was it in UAE ba? Na pagos ng ibang
yung
data center. Grabe pala yun, no? So data is money. Because that's where you store. So when you say cloud computing, for those who don't know, when you say cloud computing, yun. Where do you store that cloud? That's the cloud. That's the data.
So sabi nga nila, chips is now the new oil.
Yeah, di ba? Silicon, that's the new oil, semiconductor, and then cloud infrastructure, anything that is used to build the cloud. And there's a push and pull there because there is an ongoing debate online about there's been growing demand for data centers.
Yeah.
Here in the Philippines. So, which is, if you think about it, wow, that's good, right? But then there's also that side that's saying, alam mo, why should we do this? Because number one, mahal na nga ang kuryente, and number two, too big. Kasi water intensive yung data center, hindi ba? I think most data centers, if not all, geothermal siya. So, geothermal energy is the cheapest form. But then, ang sinasabi nila is, that cheapest form should go to the disenfranchised. Dapat, those who don't make so much money, why funnel it to the data centers? Dapat para sa Pinoy yun, yung Pilipino. Because they can't afford expensive electricity.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if this is the next revolution that will bring the Philippines to the next level, wala na nga tayo sa manufacturing we skip that, di ba?
Yeah.
So if the next step is this whole AI revolution data center because of our growing fintech industry here, should we take it at that compromise? So yun yung tanong, yun yung debate. And that's something that I've been reading up about. I've been talking to people who run data centers. I've been reading our readers who comment about data center usage. And pansin ko din, James, when you have a data center put up in an area, gumaganda yung area na yun.
Correct.
School, restaurants. Kasi,
More investors.
yeah, more investors. And the people working around that area are guaranteed regular income, di ba? So gumaganda yung buhay nila. But then there is nga that sinasabi ng cost, environmental impact, especially now in kuryente, rotating brownouts, ganyan. So it's a question that I think about it whenever I do pieces on data centers and AI and ESG, yung environment sustainability reports ng mga company. So I like reading those now. Dati hindi kita napansin
Okay. Let's talk about the tech trends. What tech trend do you believe is overhyped right now? And what do you think naman yung underrated na technology trend na dapat tutukan ng tao?
I'll go back to my AI example. I think overhyped this whole yung they call it AI slop. What's AI slop is people who just generate kung ano-anong yung mga YouTube videos that are meant to just extract money because they're just explainers na kahaba-haba-haba. Generated, the voiceover is AI. The car gen is AI. And I bet you they didn't even write the script. Tapos wala pang mukha yung
Voiceover.
Oo, parang wala. And then yung channel owner, obviously AI gumawa. Puro ganun yung mga videos. Yung parang, the top 5 foods you should avoid. Ganyan. Tapos pag click mo, it's 20 minutes long. Tapos AI lahat. And then you can tell sa comments buti nang yung mga comments discerning. Nako, AI slop. It's meant to make money. So, extract. It's like, ito yung equivalent ng early days of SEO na, diba? So, yun, I really hate that. In fact, that's what's, for me, that's what's contributing to this whole, like, the over AI-fication.
Kakaroon ng trust crisis.
Oh, yung trust. Yeah, yun eh.
Pero sa ano naman yung underrated?
Yung underrated is vibe coding. What I just talked about. Because we need to graduate Filipinos to that. Because that is the skill set that will help you think critically. Kunya, gagawa ka ng app. Make me an app that can track my that can track my daily steps sa watch, but also I can input what I eat. It will give me recommendations. Or so ano siya it's a mixture of critical thinking and liberal arts and experiences with problem solving. Yeah. So pag may problema yung app, you'll kakusapin mo siya like, how come this part doesn't work? And how can you help me fix it? Maybe we should do it another way. So it's really problem solving, critical thinking. But you're talking to an AI. Yeah. Ang galing nga eh. So I think if Filipinos put more time in trying to build something, I think mas the barrier for entry for the next yung AI entrepreneurs in that sense, mas okay talaga. Rather than content farms. Yung mga content farms na wala, paulit-ulit lang yan eh.
Okay.
If you want to improve yourself as a person, yun. Talaga, I think vibe coding.
Knowledge about the Philippine media, the tech landscape. How prepared is the Philippine media to AI revolution? Or for the AI revolution?
There's a subset that's very prepared, but sad to say there's also a subset that will die on print.
Naalala mo yun, sir, yung GMA naglabas sila ng AI sportscast.
Yeah, that's AI sports.
Pero nag-react agad yung mga media.
Yeah.
If you are, I don't get it. Well, bakit ganun yung reaction?
I think it's because it could have been done better with two real people. Yun yung nakita kong when I watched it. Remember, AI is not meant to replace. It's supposed to improve. Right? So, it didn't feel like an improvement. It felt like a cost-cutting measure. You know how like lumiit yung burger mo? Same price. Parang, ganyan yung feeling. Ganyan yung feeling. Whereas, using the burger example again, if AI knew my taste and it will customize a burger for me, yun, okay sa akin yan. Right? So for me, it was the way it was used. Na it didn't feel like an authentic. It felt like a middle finger to the reporters na who could have done a better job.
Correct. What challenges are unique to the Philippine media in the age of AI revolution? Or in the age of AI and social media?
Fact-checking is one. We want to make sure that something is real, right? Or if it was generated, saan ang galing, diba? Source.
Pero nag-i-invest ba mga newsrooms na yun sa digital transformation?
Meron naman. I mean, ever since...
I mean, aside sa inyo, kasi nakikita ko yung sinasabi mo rin.
I think all media companies have their strengths when it comes to... I don't want to speak for where I work, but in general, there are investments. There are investments. It's more like the investment has to make sense because again we're at this. I would say I still say early because right now we're seeing the actual compute costs, diba? And then they're also sad to say, we might be in a bubble also. Remember the .com boom na like, are we a Google or a pets.com? So pets.com died after a few years, diba? So we don't know if a supplier will last because of, pumunta akong, last year I went to IFA in June. There's one big pair, puro agentic AI companies. So, you don't know, next year will they still be here?
Correct.
Are they all running on funding?
Yes.
So how long are these runways?
Yeah, that's my next question. Can local media companies still survive financially in this digital era?
Yes, because they still are surviving. I mean, they're still there. What I feel that they should be doing is the learning from, ito yung basa ko as media has learned this, that the best way to move forward in digital might be to build something yourself. Because never again would we want to be a slave to a platform or an algorithm. Kaya a lot of efforts are being put sa website. Because website, that's yours right? I mean, Facebook, Instagram, that's still okay pa rin yan. Okay pa naman yan. But you don't own that What if your Facebook page gets taken down because of something, some technicality? Diba? You talk to Facebook, hirap diba? So, the one consistent learning that I've seen is to build something in-house. Whatever that may be. We don't know. Yeah.
You mentioned nga yung mga trend, yung mga dapat na gawin. Sa tingin mo, what role should tech companies play in protecting news, in protecting the democratic discourse in the country?
There was I'll answer that by short kwento. Before, I was part of this group called, I was part of a coalition called the Facebook Journalism Project. And there was a per media outlet meron. So I think one, and I was part of the Southeast Asia cluster. So together with that was the Google News Lab. So basically they were both very similar. The difference lang was that Facebook was teaching you how to use their platforms for journalism. Si Google was teaching you how to use their platforms for journalism standards. Kunyari, yung mga triangulation using Google Maps.
Yes.
Very, very interesting stuff, diba? So, I think it's, after a while, nawala lahat yan.
Nawala yung Facebook journalism.
Nawala yung Facebook journalism. They felt, many people thought that, ano pa nga like, big deal pa yun because I remember when they launched that, they hired Capel Brown, but CNN sa US to head that initiative. And then now it seems like that's gone. Zuckerberg is firing everyone, and then di ba nagano pa sila, nag-metaverse, na wala naman, ngayon AI. So I think all of these hyperscalers are just trying to outdo one another with the next big thing.
Biggest one too.
And if it fails, they'll just lay off more people. Kasi ang haba ng runway nila
Correct.
So it's not their priority, to be honest. It's really not.
So their priority is more on kung sino mauna.
Parang ganun. And let's see.
Instead of protecting.
Let's see what happens after.
Yeah.
Diba? So, paunahan tayo. Then if we're the leader, maybe we can do something. Many people now said that the Journalism Project and News Lab were pang PR lang nila eh. Para friendly si journalist sa'yo. So that's what they thought. They said it would. Many people thought about that after it was removed.
Sir Jayvee, let's talk about the creator economy. Like what we're doing now. Yung mga independent media na tinakawag, no? Kasi today, may mga podcasters, mga YouTubers, and content creators can now rival with media in terms of reach, not in reach, no? Is mainstream media losing its monopoly?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or influencer?
Yes, I would say so. From the invention of the Gutenberg printing press to before the internet, there was a monopoly with TV, radio, and print.
Yeah.
So you had radio always on, but you knew always talking noon, right? TV was family time, and then the newspaper was the breakfast, and in between is wherever TV, wherever radio and print in that wood.
Yeah.
Now you have different points of view, and I think as a consumer of news and a consumer of media, I like to curate my experience and have a set of media and influencers that I like to listen to. You have your Christian Esquera, so whatever, Cristal, so you have to look at
Are you saying that this kind of media, podcast, long form conversations, you think this is the future of meaningful?
It seems to be what a lot of people are gravitating towards.
It's the trend now.
It's the trend now. I don't know how long it will last, but it's definitely meaty. You know why?
But sir, dati pa naman itong mga podcast.
Oo, dati pa naman.
Yung nga lang audio.
Yeah, ngayon video.
May video
Because of
na.
technology.
Yes.
Because of technology, it's cheaper now to everyone now has only internet, gigabyte plans on their phones, diba? So
Dati Spotify audio lang, ngayon may video.
may video na sila. So this is the evolution of that.
Correct.
And as people are watching more on their phones, not just listening, they like to watch. Diba? The commute, the 2-hour commute, you have a full video, listen to a point of view. And the generation, syempre the millennials are now managers, diba? They're in the work, they're middle managers to maybe even upper. Then Gen Z, papasok pa na sa workforce. And they're the digital natives, right? So they have access to this kind of technology. They were born to listen and watch this form. That's how they consume their news.
What separates your responsible digital creators from pure content farming? Sa paningin mo?
Pure content farming is done with the pure intention to make money. Kung walang pera, hindi nila gagawin yun. So if you notice the content farms, like I mentioned that those videos like that, parang
Yung mga puro AI lang.
AI lang. Bakit ang hapa? Kasi inserticial ads eh.
Tapos walang laman.
Oo. So, paulit na paulit.
Pinahintay lang nila eh.
Oo, paulit na paulit. It's to meet algorithm standards. It's to meet the algorithm standards to make money. But they don't really care about the content. Some are more credible than others, but they really just get it from Wikipedia and then they just say whatever is there.
Yes.
But then when you can tell naman when you listen to someone, there's a point of view, di ba? Ito yung facts, may point of view ka. And you're trained to discern. That's a different story. You can tell naman, given sa content farming.
May napapansin ako ngayon, sir, na parang most of the journalists today parang binabrand rin yung sarili. What do you think? I mean, how important is personal branding for journalists today? At bakit kailangan nilang gawin yun? Kasi dati I remember, okay, report lang tayo.
Yeah.
Di ba? Wala tayong pakiya guys kung ano mo yung branding natin. Doon medyo, mansit ko, may branding na yung mga report.
I think that's the fault of the platform. I mean, back in the day, if you remember, like, if you're on TV or on radio, if you're on TV, they know you for your face. Right? Molly De Castro.
Correct.
Diba? If you're on radio, they know you for the voice.
Correct.
Yung voice na, di ba? Itong
Mike
boses na to.
Enriquez.
Mike Enriquez. Alam niyo yung boses eh. Hindi mo alam yung mukha. Alam mo yung boses. It's like when you see them in person, yung pala yung tsura niya. Ganyan.
Magugulat ka pa.
Yung print yung mahirap eh. Because nobody knows,
Yes.
like, who is this person, di ba? When I in my previous work, sabi ko, like, alam mo, dapat yung editor-in-chief mag-video. Kasi, hindi siya kilala eh.
Yeah.
Para malaman ko, yung pala yung editor.
Ngayon, nag-video na editor-in-chief siya, like Ami.
Yes.
ano?
Si Miss Amy Pabituan, diba?
Amy Pabituan.
For sa start.
Yeah.
Diba? So now, people know rin na. In fact, ang galing ng show siya kasi ang hapa, di ba? 1 hour.
Yes.
Ginigrill niya yung whoever politician. And I think more people have to watch that kind of journalism because you get to see the line of questioning. Right? Diba? But there are also many techniques and tactics, diba?
Correct.
Jessica Soho, she's very, parang very calm, and she really invites you in. So you become comfortable and you start talking about everything, diba? So madaming techniques. But so I do feel that because of kailangan talaga, I mean, like, the editor will never bring it up. But the marketing department will. Like, uy, kailangan nating image mo, may branding, ikaw si ganito, dapat kita mukha mo, kita ganito.
Correct.
O, gawa tayo ng show. Ayun, ganun. So the editor, to be honest, ayaw na yun.
Now
Kailangan,
now let's talk about the future naman. Sir Jayvee, no? What will journalism look like 10 years from now?
Okay.
Ito yung mga
10 years?
simple questions pala yung R2.
Kasi 10 years ago, wala namang AI. Diba?
Ano kaya
And then
mangyayari
10 years before that, wala namang Facebook.
Correct.
Right? So, we're going through every 10 years, use a new piece of technology. So, what if it's quantum computing?
That's actually interesting.
What if it's quantum computing? What if what if...
Ano ang quantum computing? Sa mga hindi
So, okay. Let's simplify it. Back up a bit. Before the AI boom now, everyone was talking about big data. Right? Big data. Big data was yun yung term that everyone was mentioning. The Unilever, P&G, we need to have big data, which is consumer data, first party data. So, the result of all of that big data, is AI now. That's the large language model that was trained on data from the past, right? Programmatic advertising of Google, that's big data. And AI put together. Automated computers, top computers are top. So what if 10 years from now, na-crack na pala yung code ng quantum computing? Meaning to say, it's AI but on steroids. But meaning to say, it's the human brain times whatever times. So it can solve a math problem in seconds. What if Bitcoin is cracked? The algorithm of Bitcoin is cracked by that time. Who knows, diba? So yun.
What skills should future journalists learn today to remain relevant?
I think if you are a journalist, it's good to learn. You need to be verbose, not just in writing, but in presenting yourself. Communicate
Na verbally.
Because that's the medium eh. Remember, the medium is the message. So, imagine the world is blind and you're a writer. Parang, di ba? So, now, video it.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to, if you cannot, then you need to learn a skill that can make up for it. Which is, hey, so your thoughts are gagawa ka ng video, but it's your writing, di ba? I would say, and still looking back, basic journalism tenets, di ba? Fact, fact checking, but with the audacity to use the tools of available to you, right? So using the internet, diba? Medyo ano nga eh. I admire people who can discern, especially when it comes to fintech, yung mga financial scams. Kasi magaling sila magtumingin ng data. Ito yung trends, bakit ito ang daming transactions, take. So yung mga ganyan. But in your field naman, using the internet for that.
Okay. So, nasa closing questions tayo. Mga bilis lang na strong closing questions. One technology that changed society forever.
One technology that shortcuts or internet.
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 One tech trend that scares you.
AI.
One innovation that excites you most.
Solar.
Oh boy. Pero dati mo yan ah.
Yeah. Still. But now, because of dumadami na ang solar.
Correct.
Dumadami na eh. And then EVs actually. Because of the EV also. So, I have many friends saying, na-zero ko yung kuryente ko. Na-zero ko din yung gas ko. So, imagine.
Alright. If you could give one message to young journalists and creators entering the industry today, what would it be?
You are the future.
You are the
You are the future. So you need to do better. Because the past is having a hard time catching up.
Ano yung advantage naman yun?
They are trained on modern tools. Wala yung biases nila, wala. Yung the older generation, they don't want to touch it. Many of them still think print is the way to go. Digital is like,
So, do you think, I'm sorry to ask you more question about that. So you think also yung pagiging Jurassic ng ilang members sa newsroom ang reason bakit nahirapan mag-catch up? When you say Jurassic, yung talaga ayaw i-touch kasi
in a way, it's ano eh. It's very nuanced also because on one end there's frustration, but also can you imagine this? You have to also have empathy. But can you imagine 50 years in media, and then all of a sudden
Traditional sila.
one intra tapos biglang boom AI. Diba? So I in older organizations, usually nire-repurpose yung role nila eh. They become more of a advisor or they're retrained as a mentor to help the younger generation make their story better. Yeah. Because a story is a story, whether it's on print or TV or, di ba? So, para siyang mentor talaga. Which you cannot, because that's generational knowledge eh, in the company eh, di ba? So, very valuable pa rin yan. But you can't expect them to lead the AI revolution, di ba? But you can expect them to assist, to train younger journalists to be credible.
Okay. Do you think smartphones and social media are making people more connected or more isolated?
I would say connected only because at the end of the day, the pros outweigh the cons.
Correct. Last questions are in one sentence. Who will shape the future of information? Journalists, algorithms, or AI?
The future of this industry will be shaped by a combination of an AI-trained journalist.
AI-trained
Journalist.
Tao pa rin.
Tao pa rin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ang saya. Ang
Ang dami ko natutunan
Ang
sa'yo.
dami kong nalabas.
Ang dami kong natutunan Feeling ko, marami rin natutunan na at mga kabayan dito sa... I was a part 2, ha?
Yeah, sure. Gawa tayo ng
Let's do a part 2. This is a very, timely and
That yung
exciting conversation.
yung series natin should be called Kato Kayo. Tu kayo.
Jayvee
Tu,
versus
di ba? Tu kayo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anytime.